the energy feels lighter. And I know for some of you, whoever is watching, you may be at the tail end of a cycle closing out. That is what I feel. And I grabbed all of my decks. So I'm going to pull a little bit from each deck. I know yesterday's reading was kind of short and sweet. And eventually I want to do like short videos and then record an extended. Someone's throat chakra needs to be cleared. I just cleared mine, so it's not mine. I just did Reiki earlier today on myself. And I pulled all my tarot decks that I thought I was going to use, and I don't know why, but Edgar keeps calling me, and I don't know if you guys enjoy when I use Edgar's deck. I love Edgar's deck. I don't want to channel love. I just want to channel like something else. So we'll just see whatever comes up. What does Edgar want us to know? I'm sad because this deck got ruined a little bit too from the rain when I put it out with the full moon. Ooh, 2 cards came out. 2 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. Two of Wands, you see this person that's just standing there. He's just staring. He's not doing anything. And then you have the 2 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I feel like this goes with the energy too. You have the full moon. So there's heavy masculine energy coming up. Whoever's watching this, I know masculine energy is genderless, but on all these cards, it's just masculine energy. There's no feminine energy. Some of you guys could live by the ocean, because I'm drawn to the seagull. I mean, like here in Santa Cruz, I see seagulls everywhere. But you see how in the 2 of Wands, this person is like, they're not distracted by the outside noise. You can see the people around him are just like chaotic, you know, going in different directions, getting to their destination. Looks like you have the little boy in this card that's just like screaming. I don't know. Then you have this weird guy that's like running away with a sword. But he's gonna murder someone. I'm just kidding. Swords represents communication. So, anyways, but it's like this person, this masculine energy is trying to like get away from the noise. And you have the 6 of Swords, which is moving to calmer waters, moving away from the distraction and moving away from all the chaos and wanting to return to a sense of calmness, a sense of inner peace. And that's what I feel with this card. Like the storm is moving away and you have the sun coming up. Like you're starting to see, this person's starting to see the light again. And with the 2 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, you have the moth, the skull, so that's like some sort of transformation. But with the 2 of Swords, his eyes are covered, and so it's almost like the full energy of the full moon last weekend really helped this masculine energy like not like have blind faith, but also like not just being able to see from like your 2 eyes, but being able to like, you know, listen to your intuition. And you know, sometimes that's like really hard for masculines to do because they're so logical. You know, they rule the physical world, and masculines are very logical. You know, they don't really lean on their intuition as much as feminines do, right? So it's almost like this masculine is learning to go within, trusting the unknown. I'm looking at this, it's the wild unknown, and the word that was drawn to me was the word unknown. And that's what it's all about, right? Is just trusting while being in the unknown. You know, especially lately, what's been coming up is like wanting to know the answers to specific situations and to specific outcomes, but it's not always about knowing the answer, right? Sometimes the answer can't be revealed to us because we're not supposed to know right now in this moment. And it's almost like this person is learning to lean on their intuition. Also, you know, maybe receiving downloads. That was coming up in yesterday's reading, receiving the downloads. And you can't receive the downloads if your mind is like constantly running, and when you're constantly surrounded by a lot of outside noises, right? And it's also like this masculine too is coming out of the darkness. You can see that there's darkness surrounding this masculine, but he's standing in between two of the lights. Something's resisting. The Tower. That's why I didn't want to come up. The Tower. This Tower, it's pushing this masculine energy to go within. That is what I'm getting. I feel like I wanted to sneeze, and I don't sneeze because I put honey and cinnamon in my coffee every morning, and I literally don't sneeze unless someone's thinking about me or my solar plexus is like releasing something. The Tower. It's almost like someone is being cracked open, like cracked wide open, and I've been feeling heart chakra cracking and activations this past week. I clear that throat chakra. Someone's like being cracked open. This is gonna help this person see the truth of whatever they've been avoiding. And I really feel like this is post full moon energy. It really like just pushed what was in the dark out into the surface. We have the Queen of Swords. That's the High Priestess energy. See how she has the crescent on her crown? This feminine here, this feminine energy, you could have been cutting people off, especially this masculine energy that's coming through. This feminine has been putting up her sword and literally cutting people off, which is so crazy because like I feel this energy of, you know, people, places, and things that don't give the same energy I'm giving back. And if I don't feel supported or loved by you, or feel like you are someone who can be consistent in my life, like I need to cut that off. I need to make space for people who, you know, want to be consistent, want to show up, want to support me. And if I feel like I don't have 100% of your support, I need to either put up my sword and put up a, you know, like a temporary energetic block and say, you know what, like if you want to be in my life, if you want to support me, I need 100%. And if you can't do that, like, I'll put this block up for this energetic block up for right now. And if you want to, you can, but only if you're going to give me 100%. If you cannot give me 100%, and I totally understand in some parts of our lives we cannot give 100%, and that's fine. But I mean, like, supporting people with their dreams and their goals. Because what if I don't give myself that 100%? If I don't believe in myself 100% or support myself 100%, then it's not going to work out, right? And so if I expect that from myself, then I expect that from other people, right? You know, the Queen of Swords is someone who stands in her truth. You could be someone who's learning to, you know, speak up for yourself, speak your truth, and not care how the other person's going to react, because that's out of our control. If they're going to react in a negative way, then you know exactly what you need to do. You know, you don't tolerate that. You say, okay, fine, bye. This is Queen of Swords energy is also someone who, you know, sets her boundaries, like sets loving boundaries. You can see that she's all in blue. So this is the throat chakra. And if you've been having problems setting boundaries, or loving boundaries with other people, or, you know, speaking up when you feel like you need to speak up, but you're just too fearful of it, then I recommend working with me. In the future, right now, I'm going to be doing mentorships and life coaching. I just, at the moment, it's not that, because I need to focus on getting to consistent clients in the areas that I'm investing my energy in. But the Queen of Swords, this is the energy that you need to be in, and it's in the recent past, so someone definitely was stepping in their energy, in this energy, this Queen of Swords energy. Sorry, I don't take cards out. That came out weird. I didn't even ask the question and it came out. Three of Swords. Someone's heart is gonna feel like it's being penetrated. Now, the Three of Swords does symbolize heartbreak, a very painful situation that someone had to experience. But what's interesting is it's not being impaled by swords. It's being impaled by the wood. But it was like, it's almost like a coffin, like this heart was buried. And now it's being exposed. And it's very painful being exposed. And it's interesting because I said earlier that I was feeling the heart chakra activations, like, and I also mentioned that someone was being cracked open, right? So it's like this is upside down. What is this Three of Swords? Seven of Cups. But it came out in reverse, and I don't like reversal cards, but, you know, if it was upright, it would be different options, different opportunities, or, you know, not seeing something clearly. Like, you know, when I think of this card, it is Pisces energy is what I'm feeling whenever I see this card, because Pisces, you know, kind of have this, like, dreamy effect, right? They kind of see through rose-colored glasses. They make everything just seem so dreamy, and, you know, especially, like, romantic connections, like, it just, they romanticize everything, basically, and it's not a bad thing. I love Pisces energy. It's very similar to Scorpio energy. But if it's in reverse, it's almost like this person is, like, seeing the truth and the pain behind whatever is being exposed with this Three of Cups. Seven of Pentacles. You know, Seven of Pentacles is a card of waiting. It's almost like this person just, they felt like they waited too long. I feel like whoever this person is, they feel like this, whatever this awakening is, whatever this pain they've experienced, like they held on to this pain too long. They may feel like they're behind on their journey. And if this is someone you're connected to, they may feel like they're behind where you're at on your journey. And, you know, you always have to remind yourself that you're exactly where you're meant to be, right? They waited. King of Cups. Hold on, give me a second. King of Cups. There's just too much noise. I feel like whoever this King of Cups is, they rely too heavily on people outside of themselves. And they're starting to see that, they can't just like give their energy to everyone, right? They kind of have to feel it out, see where they can invest their energy and where they shouldn't invest their energy. The Devil, see? Restrictions. Cutting yourself off from the outside noise, from people, places, and things that keep you in this addictive, restrictive energy. Cutting yourself off from other relationships, right? Where you feel like you have to. Archangel Michael. What the heck? To confirm it, the other King of Cups came out too. I feel like this person's learning how to communicate how they feel without letting past relationships or past situations get in the way. And what I mean by get in the way is we let past situations and relationships we've been in suppress us from communicating how we feel, you know, making us feel less than, or feel like we were wrong for communicating our feelings, or making us feel like we're not allowed to express how we feel. And this masculine energy is learning to overcome that, right? They've been surrounded by the wrong people, is what I'm getting from this first King of Cups. You know, maybe this person didn't know how to be by themselves. They wanted to surround themselves because it was a distraction from the quietness, right? It was a distraction from their internal thoughts. It didn't push them into expressing how they feel. And now this person is realizing that they can't distract themselves anymore. And there's some sort of resistance because the cards earlier, the Devil again, but this Devil is different. Whoever this is, they tried to bury something. The Devil. You see how she's slowly being revealed? And what's interesting too, because the heart is starting to be revealed, there's some sort of connection here that got buried. They just buried it. But now it's like opening and it's being revealed, and now as their emotions are beginning to be revealed and come up to the surface, it's like the cat's out of the bag, basically, is what I heard. Now the devil represents, if it's positive and has to do with love, it can represent this obsessive energy, like, you know, Scorpios. They are very obsessive with, you know, certain people who make them feel a certain type of way. And yeah, sometimes it can be, you know, toxic, but I feel like the way this masculine feels about this feminine was not toxic at all. I just think that they didn't have the words to express how they really felt. The High Priestess. See, it's the same lady in the card. See? The High Priestess. You need to, both masculine and feminine energy, quiet the noise. I was watching a reading that was from 2 years ago, and she was saying the same thing. I was like, how interesting that this energy is coming up now, because I feel like there's too much noise in my head and outside of me, and the only way you can receive the intuitive downloads and listen to your intuition is if you quiet the noise. Like, if there's too much external noise or internal noise, it's gonna block you from receiving this. And there are some very important downloads for your intuition to receive right now, and you're not going to receive this if there's too much noise in the background. That is, the outside noise is distracting you, and there's something that you need to see, but it's being blocked from you right now because the Queen of Wands. You need to step in your power. You need to learn. And what was funny, before I shuffled the I can't talk. Someone here needs to balance your throat chakra. They can't talk. Before I shuffled the Edgar deck, Temperance was on the bottom of the deck. And Temperance is all about alchemy. It's all about finding the middle ground between the light and the dark, or the spiritual and physical world. The Queen of Wands, she integrates the light and the dark. She, you know, is someone who knows her worth. She knows her power, and your message right now is someone here has to step into their power. Whatever this masculine is feeling, you might be feeling it too if you are connected, but you cannot focus on what they're going through or what they're feeling or whatever. You have to silence that noise. You have to let that go, because this cannot come in and they cannot heal if you're always on their ass energetically, basically, is what it is. Right now, you're being called to listen to what your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors are telling you right now. And it also kind of sucks sometimes, because we want to go out, right? We want to go out and be surrounded by people like our friends and go have fun. Like, I was invited to a baseball game and I didn't get to go because I had school and I also had work and I had homework, and I was like, gee, thanks, universe. Like, I wanted to go have fun because I haven't had fun in a while. And it was like they kind of dangling the donut or the cheese or whatever in front of your face, and you can't have it. You know, you're like running on a treadmill, and every time you seem like you get close to it, and you get pushed back away from it, right? That's what I'm seeing in my head, so they're showing me. And it's like, no. Like, you can have fun. But right now, we need you to silence the outside noise. especially for those of you who are very close to your divine unions with your masculines. I know they are close, and the more we push on the how, the when, the why, and you know, when is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen today? Am I gonna hear from them today? And it's like, no, you're not, because you're so focused on when you're gonna hear from them. And that's why I'm saying, like, you gotta step into your power, your own empowerment. And you see how we have two black cats here? Gotta be in that black cat energy. Someone here could have a black cat. I used to have a black cat. But this is about black cat energy, right? You know how, like, especially black cats, like, I mean, my black cat was very friendly. He didn't give a shit who people were. He just went up to everyone. But most black cats, you know, sometimes they don't come up to you. They sometimes come up to certain people they feel called to come up to, but sometimes they don't want to be pet. They kind of just, like, do their own thing. And that's the type of energy you need to be in, your black cat energy, where you don't give your energy just to anyone. You give it to people who you feel are worthy of your time and your energy. Your hopes and fears is the Ace of Cups. Something was planted with the full moon. I keep seeing full moons everywhere. The Ace of Cups is new love. You're hopeful. You're excited. You know new love is coming in. You know the love you deserve is coming in. You know beautiful, wonderful opportunities that are going to fill up your cup, and where you're going to have this overflowing feeling of love and abundance come in. But you're also fearful that it's not going to come in. You're fearful because you don't feel worthy enough of it. But that's just your ego, and that's why I'm saying you gotta step into your power, because this is gonna act as a catalyst for your divine masculine, if that is what you want. But we're not gonna focus on that. Look, Knight of Cups. Secret admirer is on the way. Slow and moving energy. It's slow. It's not gonna be fast. But the Ace of Swords is clarity. It's insight. This could be a message that comes in, but the storm has to clear. You can see it's coming out of the clouds. The storm has to pass first. And this message will be so clear to you once you clear out the external noises. Overall, come and say Ace of Swords. With the Four of Swords, look, you see how they're whispering? It was so crazy because, oh my god, the sun, it's on its way. Come on, bitch, it's on its way. The Ace of Swords. Some of you guys may have a crow. I have a crow. He follows me everywhere. But crows represents messages, right? They're the messengers. And you see how the angels are, like, conspiring? And it was funny because this was me today. Now, the Four of Wands symbolizes union, specifically twin flame union. It's number 4, which represents stability. With the Four of Wands, you're being prepared, okay? Your angels, especially, they're preparing you for this. And you see how there's a bunch of clouds that need to be cleared away. I said that earlier. There's this type of fog, like the internal and external noise within you is being cleared out so that you can have a higher perspective and a higher understanding of this with the double Ace of Swords. But the Ace of Swords on this deck is telling me there's a message that's coming in, and it's going to come in, whether this is telepathically or energetically or physically in the 3D. So it could be coming, you could receive it from the 5D, and then it will shift into the 3D. but you are being prepared for this. You see how she is. It surprises me that this is not the Four of Swords, but with the Four of Wands, the universe is preparing you for physical divine union. They're conspiring. Something is being conspired. Just wait. The Star. It's a card of healing. But I don't feel like you guys need to heal anymore. We always think we need to like heal. But at some point on our journey, it's time for us to apply the things we learned from the lessons that we have gone through, right? I don't feel like that, so I'm not going to take that. I'm just going to pull one quick card from the Twin Flame deck. Someone here needs to have patience or even divine timing. A lot of people who want to book with me don't understand divine timing. And I don't want to work with people who don't understand that. Not in a petty way or anything. Voyager's journey, past life healing. Enter your vortex, aligning with infinite abundance. Didn't that card come out yesterday? Focus on what's in your vortex. And Abraham Hicks talks about the vortex, right? And what is in your vortex, and how can you bridge the gap between yourself and your vortex. And once you let go of all the external noises and the internal noises and people, places, and things that are distracting you from reaching what's in your vortex and achieving receiving and achieving what's in your vortex, then you will allow this to come in. And if twin flame union is what you wish to receive, you have to reach that inner union. And in order to reach that inner union is being able to be able to balance the masculine and the feminine energy, right? Temperance. And some of you may have already achieved that inner balance of your feminine energy, but what about your masculine energy? Are you taking action on the ideas that you have, the downloads that you have, right? Are you setting loving boundaries with people around you? Are you able to express your emotions in a healthy way without getting over emotional and feel like you're drowning in your emotions? You know, having the logic, but also leaning into your intuition and kind of finding the balance between logic and soul, logic and intuition. So that's how you can practice balancing your masculine energy, is make sure that you're communicating in a healthy way. You're not communicating from a place of just pure emotions. Like, there has to be logic behind those emotions as well, using discernment, being able to see things from a higher perspective, not just your own. And then Voyager's journey, past life healing. Some of you guys may be doing past life healings. Things from past lives are coming up. And we had that Six of Swords earlier, right? That kind of having that journey of moving away from the past and moving towards the present and what you want to create in your future. Alright, I have to go. I am starving. But I hope that reading was helpful. And don't forget, you guys get free birthday readings. Also booking personal readings too. If this reading resonates with you and you want to dive deeper into that energy, you feel like everything you're doing, you're doing everything, but it's just not leading to the outcome you want, hit me up and we can have a conversation about that, like free consultations, and we can see what the next steps are for that as well. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.